All right, welcome back. I got a little something different for you. This isn't going to be a gun review. Definitely not a bug gun review, but we are going to talk about bug guns. I got the question, why are you so into bug guns? What do where did this fascination in making these videos come from? Um, and so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I also wanted to show the guns that kind of got me into this and started this whole like, what are we going to do with making more guns that fit this division? Um, but anyway, let's take a look at a few more stages. The first stages were from the 2021 IDPA National Championship. The second set of stages here is going to be from the Italian National Championship in 2022. And then I'll come back at the end and kind of give you the whys and wherefores of why I'm into this small gun division. Okay, so those are just a few of the stages from the 2021 IDPA National Championship here in the US and a few from the Italian National Championship. They were both awesome matches. So I want to talk about where this kind of started from me. So I work in law enforcement, and our backup gun was a Glock 27. And so I got to thinking, I'm going to be carrying this sometimes. I want to be good with it because there's a lot of it. If you haven't shot a Glock 27, it's the same as a 26, but instead of 9mm, it's 40 cal. And the agency that I work for only gives us duty ammo. Your practice rounds are duty rounds, so you're shooting some pretty hot stuff all the time. Power factor tested it or calculated it one time, and it was like 180. So I thought to myself, well, I want to get good with this, but I'm not going to shoot a full diet of 180 power factor out of a backup gun. So I ended up choosing the Glock 26 just because it's the exact same gun, but in 9mm. And I'd already loaded a ton of rounds for 125 power factor. It ended up being that my 125 load was more like 138, 139, and it still is. I have to rework that. And so both nationals that I shot, the power factor in backup gun division is 95. So you have to make 95 power factor, which is nothing. I'm not even sure the bullets will stabilize at that low of the speed. Maybe, I don't know. I've never loaded it that low. But I wasn't going to try out a new division. And then, what if I hated it? And, now I've got a whole bunch of rounds loaded for 95 power factor that didn't work. So all this stuff that I've done, you've seen in other videos of, the new CCP 105, 108 power factor loads, that all came after the 2021 and 2022 US and Italian national championships. So I shot both of them with 125 power factor ammo or close to it. But anyway, that's where it started. I wanted to, I wanted to shoot in a division where I could compete with the gun that I carry. I'm not, I wanted to compete with other people, but I'm not, oblivious to the fact that there aren't a ton of people shooting bug division. However, with that being said, this year for Worlds, I'm not shooting bug. I'm shooting CCP, but there are 24 people last time I looked shooting bug, which is the most that I could find in a other than like I think they used to do like bug nationals, which I wish that was still a thing because then I could really know like this is how you stack up with these little guns. But anyway, so that was the idea behind it. So as I started getting into it, I found that getting a gun to fit in the bug box wasn't really all that easy. In 2017, they changed IDPA changed the box to be a little bit smaller. So, I found when I first started, the only double stack I found that would fit was the Glock 26. Um, and when I say fit, I mean it's incredibly small without the magazine. And this thing, I'm trying that out, but that was not on the gun for 2021. However, these base plates that you get from Dawson, they just make the gun long enough or tall enough to get your whole hand on the gun. So that's what's made that doable in 2021. But it wasn't ideal, and that's kind of what I like about Bug Division and the Bug Box is that you really, like, so far, as you've seen in the videos, like, there's always something where I'm like, this isn't quite ideal. So you have to deal with something that you don't like, that if you had your way, you'd get rid of it. And a lot of that is centered around the box and how small it is for, since 2017. So I shot the Glock 26 in 2021, and I did not feel, I won the division. And so, I did not feel like I really shot that match as well as I could shoot a small gun. And so, thinking about 2022 and what am I going to do? And I'll spare the whole idea of how Italian nationals came about, but in essence, the reason we went is because my wife wanted to go to Italy. So I thought, well, I think the Italian nationals is in September. That's probably a good time to go, and so we did. And so I wanted to upgrade a little bit from the Glock 26, and so I made a switch over to the H&K P30SK. This one, you get a little bit longer grip, but not a lot because the bore axis is a little higher. But I can get 3 fingers on it. The compromise for this one, it's got a European style mag release, which I guess is appropriate for going to Europe to shoot a match. But some of the benefits of it is I like a gun that fills my hand, and it has these replaceable grips and replaceable backstrap that kind of fill out your hand a little bit, and it's fully ambidextrous. The Glock is too, but anyway, like I said, it's not a review. I found this to be a little bit more ideal than the other one, but again, it's a double single, so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know you can get these in the single action configuration, but this is the one that I had access to because Brent over at River's Edge Arms had one. So rather than go searching for it, I just bought it. So another small modification I did that. I did a poor man's undercut on the trigger guard there to get up a little bit higher on that with the bore axis being the way that it is. So like I said, for Bug Division, one of the reasons I like it is because you just don't get everything that you want out of a gun. And I think it's a similar compromise that we make when we're looking for carry guns, is because, like I've said this before, a lot of people are shooting big CZs or big 320s, including me, at matches, and then they throw on their appendix 365, and that's what they carry around all day. So when you're making a decision on a carry gun, you're making some you're relinquishing this idea of the ability to stabilize a big gun with a heavy grip versus this is what I can carry around all day. So I like that, the comparison between the Division and real life. Another thing, that the reason that I ended up doing these videos and making more is because through that process of finding out, like, what gun am I going to shoot for this season in 21 or this season in 22, I kind of rediscovered building guns and making them for a purpose. So years ago, I worked at a gun store, and when I first got into guns, and this probably happened to a lot of you too, it was like, oh, this is cool. I got to buy this one. I'm going to buy this one. I bought all this stuff to the point where my safe was full of guns, and I was like, I like these, but I'm only shooting 1 or 2 of them. And so I told myself, this is dumb. I'm going to sell what I'm not using. If it sits in the safe longer than 6 months, it's gone. And I stuck to that for years, and I still sell stuff if I'm not using it. But I kind of rediscovered, what I've been doing when I was younger, which is buying a gun, fixing it, and getting it to the way that I liked it for me. But this time with more of a purpose. Like this is, driving towards, can it fit in the box? How ideal can I get it in a world where I know I'm not going to get the ideal gun? So, yeah, rediscovering that was fun. And now I have guns that I shoot fairly regularly, but that don't sit in the safe for years and years and years. Shooting little guns is fun because that's what we carry. I touched on this a little bit already, but I carry a 365 every day. And some of you are probably asking, why didn't you try this at 365? I did go through, attempts at a 365 build in 21 and 22. It didn't work out. I'm working on one right now. Since the rules in IDPA have changed, I feel like it's a little bit more viable for me than it was before, but that'll be for a future video. So another aspect to this is that as I've screwed around with little guns, trying to get them to fit in the box, trying to get, a holster that fits, and trying to get, am I going to put a gas pedal on it? Can I get a holster that accepts the gas pedal? My taste in what I want to carry or what I want out of my carry gun has evolved to what it is now. Maybe I'll do a video about that. It's a 365 with a Wilson Combat grip and Go Guns gas pedal and a holster and all that. And I've shot it a little bit for matches, and I think I made a video about it. But either way, if I haven't, I will. And probably the last thing that the reason I like shooting these little gun divisions is that I know exactly what I'm capable of with my little gun. I think there's a lot of people who shoot big guns at matches, like I said before, and then they throw on a 365 or a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield and think like, yeah, well, I'll be fine. And then they probably will. And they'll probably end up never needing it. But I don't know if it's personality or what, but I feel like I know exactly what I'm capable of or what I can do with this little gun. Whereas, maybe if I ever, I don't anticipate, getting into a lot of gunfights. But if that worst should happen, I know exactly what I'm capable of with the gun. I know I can do it this fast. So there's going to be a little thing in the back of my head going like, can I do that? Am I capable of this? Can I do it? So, and there's more to it that goes into it than just being comfortable with your gun. I'm not a tactics or a, gunfight expert, but, I don't know. I think that being comfortable and understanding how well you can shoot your carry gun is probably part of it. So anyway, that's how it happened. The results of it for me were in 2021, I won the backup division at the U.S. National Championship, and I'll throw up some pictures from both. And then in 22, like I said, I didn't feel as good about 2021 because I felt like I held something in the tank, and so I had planned to shoot it for a season and be done with it. But I continued on to 2022 because I felt like I could do something better. And then in Italy, the Italian National Championship, I did. I left it in a good place, which was winning the Italian National Championship. I was 30th overall. I didn't shoot the best. I didn't have a completely clean match, but I shot a really good match. There was one mistake that ended up, costing me a few seconds, but not a big deal. But anyway, I felt like that was a good place to leave it in terms of competing, and now I just want to have fun with it. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you have the time, check out our website, www.dz-214.com, where you can donate to all of the veterans charities that we sponsor. I'm going to be at the not Italian, at the, I guess, Italian Axis Worlds, so that's every country, but IDPA Worlds, which is going to be in Alabama. I'm not going to stop complaining that it's in Alabama because I've been to the Cameo in Colorado and I love that range. So I hope they bring it back there because Alabama doesn't sound fun. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next one.